We are back with part 3 of this week's reading of chapters 24 to 36 of the Messianic Jewish Family Bible, Tree of Life Version, TLV, and we're in the book of Genesis, and we're doing, again, chapters 24 to 36. And I had to cut it off because we were running out of time here on the counter on part 2. So Esau comes in, just to kind of recap here. Esau comes in and realizes what has happened, and so does Isaac. Um, and it's very, very, very sad what has happened to him because Jacob actually tricked him and then stole his blessing to boot. Um, Esau said to his father, "Do you have just one blessing, my father? Bless me too, my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then Isaac his father said to him, "Behold, away from the land's fatness shall your dwelling be, away from the dew of the sky above. By your sword shall you live, and your brother shall serve you. But when you tear yourself loose, you will tear his yoke off your neck." So Esau bore a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, "Let the time for mourning my father draw near, so that I can kill my brother Jacob." Now to Rebekah was reported the words of Esau, her elder son. So she sent and called for Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, "Look, your brother Esau is consoling himself about you with the thought of killing you. So now, my son, listen to my voice. Get up, flee to Laban, my brother, in Haran. Then stay with him a few days until your brother's rage subsides, until your brother's rage turns away from you and he forgets about what you've done to him. Then I'll send for you and get you back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" Then Rebekah said to Isaac, "I'm disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these women from the daughters of the land, what is life to me?" So I'm going to pause it for this for just a minute, and we're going to recap a little bit on just what has happened. So as Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, he called his oldest son Esau to him and wanted to give him a blessing. He sent him out to get game, so he would return with venison and prepare it for him. But Rebekah, her favorite was Jacob, so she plotted to get the blessing for Jacob, and so that is what exactly did happen. So so Jacob got the birthright through the bowl of stew, and then he got the blessing that should have gone to the firstborn as well. So Esau was very angry and holding a grudge and thinking, as you know, when Isaac passes away, he's gonna do away with Jacob. He's gonna kill him. So Rebekah is pecking Jacob off to send him away to her brother so he is safe. And she's presenting it to Isaac that, she doesn't want Jacob to be married to a Hittite woman, the wife of Canaanites, um, daughter of Canaanites, Hittites, like Esau, and so she's sending him off so he can get a suitable wife. So she's actually also, presenting it to Isaac that way. So chapter 28 opens, Jacob is sent to Laban. So Isaac called for Jacob, blessed him, commanded him, and said, "Don't take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Get get up and go to Paddan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take for yourself a wife from there, from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. Now may El Shaddai bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you so that you will become an assembly of peoples. And may he give you the blessing of Abraham to you and to your seed with you, that you may take possession of the land of your sojourn, which God gave to Abraham." Then Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went toward Paddan Aram to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Now Esau saw that Isaac blessed Jacob when he sent him to Paddan Aram to take for himself a wife from there, when he blessed him and commanded him, saying, "Don't take a wife from the daughters of Canaan." Jacob listened to his father Isaac and to his mother and went towards Paddan Aram. Then Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan were contemptible in his father Isaac's eyes. So Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son Nebaioth's sister for his wife, besides his other wives, because he had already taken 2 wives from the Canaanites. So now we're going to start with the next section of chapter 28, and this is Parashat Vayetz, and we talked about that earlier. This is subtitled Jacob's Ladder from Heaven. Then Jacob left Beersheba and went towards Haran. He happened upon a certain place and spent the night there, for the sun had set. So he took one of the stones from the place and put it by his head and lay down in that place. He dreamed. All of a sudden, there was a stairway set up on the earth, and its top reaching to the heavens, and behold, angels of God going up and down on it. Surprisingly, Adonai was standing on top of it, and he said, I am Adonai, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie, I will give it to you and to your seed. Your seed will be as the dust of the land, and you will burst forth to the west and to the east and to the north and to the south. And in you all of the families of the earth will be blessed, and in your seed. Behold, I am with you, and I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land, for I will not forsake you until I have done what I have promised you. Jacob woke up from his sleep and said, Undoubtedly Adonai is in this place, and I was unaware. So he was afraid and said, How fearsome this place is! This is none other than the house of God. This must be the gate of heaven. Early in the morning Jacob got up and took the stone which he had placed by his head and set it up as a memorial stone and poured oil on top of it. He called the name of that place Beth El, and this is Beth, Beth hyphen El, though originally the city's name was Luz, Luz. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, If God will be with me and watch over me on this way that I am going, and provide me food to eat and clothes to wear, and I return in shalom, in peace, to my father's house, then Adonai will be my God. So this stone, which I set up as a memorial stone, will become God's house, and of everything you provide me, I will definitely give a tenth of it to you. So there's the tithe again. And I'm not sure, this counter is not working too well, so I'm just gonna probably read the next section and hope that I have enough time, because it's kind of stuck at 3 minutes and it's been stuck there for a while, so I'm not sure what I have not gotten here. So remember, if you've ever sang that song, Jacob's Ladder, the song Jacob's Ladder comes from this story in the Bible. Jacob took stones that he had used for a pillow and poured oil on top of them after he had the encounter with Adonai, and saw the ladder and angels going up and down from heaven, and he pledged a tenth to the Lord as well. So, chapter 29, Jacob loves Rachel. Then Jacob lifted up his feet and went to the land of the peoples of the east. When he looked, suddenly there was a well in the field, and there were 3 herds of sheep resting by it. For from that well they could water the flocks. The stone on the mouth of the well was large. When all the herds gathered there, they would roll away the stone from the mouth of the well and water the flocks, and put the stone back to its place over the mouth of the well. Jacob said to them, My brothers, where are you from? We're from Haran, they said. So he said to them, Do you know Laban, Nahor's son? They said, We know. He said to them, Is he well? Well, they said, Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the flock. He said, Since it's still the middle of the day, it's not time for the livestock to be gathered. Water the flock and let them go and graze. But they said, We can't, not until all the flocks are gathered, and the stone is rolled away from the mouth of the well. Then we water the flock. While he was speaking with them, Rachel came with a flock that belonged to her father, for she was a shepherdess. Now, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, Jacob stepped forward and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. Then Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative and that he was Rebekah's son. So she ran and told her father. Now, when Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and hugged him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And then he told Laban all these things. Laban said to him, "Surely you are my own bone and flesh." And he stayed with him for a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Should you, my relative, serve me for nothing? Tell me what should be your wages." Now Laban had two daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were delicate, but Rachel was beautiful in form and appearance. Jacob was in love with Rachel, so he said, "Let me serve you for 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." Laban said, "It's better that I give her to you than I give her to another man. Stay with me." So Jacob worked for Rachel 7 years, yet in his eyes it was like a few days, because of his love for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are completed, so I may go to her." So Laban gathered all of the men of the place, and he prepared a feast. When it was evening, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to him, and he went to her. Laban also gave her Zilpah, his female servant, to his daughter Leah as a female servant. So when it was morning, behold, there she was, Leah. So he said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? Wasn't it for Rachel that I worked with you? So why have you deceived me?" But Laban said, "It's not done so in our place to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the bridal week for this one, then we'll also give you the other one for work that you'll do with me for another 7 years more." So Jacob did. He also completed this one's bridal week. Then he gave him as his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban also gave his daughter Rachel his female servant Bilhah to be a servant for her. Jacob also went to Rachel and indeed loved Rachel more than Leah, so he served with him for yet another 7 years. Rivalry continues with wives. Now Adonai saw that Leah was unloved, so he opened her womb, but Rachel was unable to conceive. Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son and named him Reuben, because she said, "For Adonai has seen my affliction. Surely now my husband will love me." Then she became pregnant again and gave birth to a son and said, "For Adonai heard that I am hated, so he's given me this one also." And she named him Simeon. Then she became pregnant again and gave birth to a son and said, "Now this time my husband will join himself to me, because I have given birth to 3 sons for him." For this reason he was named Levi, or some will call him Levi. Then she became pregnant again and gave birth to a son and said, "This time I praise Adonai." For this reason she named him Judah. Then she stopped having children. Now that's the end of chapter 29. I'm going to pause it here because I'm having problems with this counter. So I'm going to pause it and make sure that this is actually being recorded. And I will be back with part 4, and that will be chapter 30.